Learn tech and be dope at it.
Welcome to Undiluted Tech. Today we are going to talk about how you can design a lab to pass your Microsoft exam 70-741. I have some good resources for you on this video. If you watch my first video, then you'll know where all the resources to get your Microsoft exam, the books and what I suggest. I do also have some other suggestions on some other books you can check if you're on a time constraint or your employer gave you like 6 months to get this exam done or the track. But the main key here is the lab. We'll be talking about the lab today and a few resources that I've found that might help you or might not help you. Definitely they help me a little bit or a lot, depending on what questions I faced. So I'm not telling you that you're going to find these resources useful, but the lab will be useful. So let's get to this. As you can see, I have my my drawings right here. That's my router. This is a switch. This is a two machines that I bought at a recycling center, and I've installed Hyper-V on them. And on this side, this is what I'm going to start. You might create a lab that has a standalone server and one Windows 10 machine, and then a standalone server with just DNS installed on it. That's the role installed on it. And then another virtual machine with a DHCP standalone server, and then a standalone IPAM server. So on this side, you'll practice DNS, DHCP, and IPAM and see how they work without being joined to a domain controller. On this other hand, you have your domain controller. If you don't know how to install a domain controller, just find some resources on YouTube or go to your exam 742 book and see how to install one, and you can go from there. But otherwise, you have your DC1, which has DNS and DHCP installed, and then you have a second DC with just DNS, and then you have your client 1, client 2, and an IPAM server. Then you're gonna practice all your materials on DNS, DHCP, and IPAM, and other domains like address, what is it, VPNs and direct access and DFS. You can practice with these two. Like for your DFS, you can try to replicate it on a server on here, or you figure out how to do it as you learn these things. But anyways, this is the lab setup. I didn't want to spend a lot of much time on this video, so I'm trying to rush, because if you already took your 70-740, then this thing should be easy for you to set up. Or if you started the other way around and started with 70-742. Anyways, this is just how your lab should look like, and your management on here. It could be a Windows 10 machine or a Windows Server 2016, and you connect to your two Hyper-V servers over here, and you get to manage your virtual machines. Don't worry about the diagram. It's just a rough sketch here. So this is a rough idea on how you can do that. Now, what other materials do I have for you? If you go to YouTube and look for Ed Baker, he has a really comprehensive, I would say it's an absolute comprehensive, but he walks you through the exam domains and topics and gives you ideas. I like him because he point out things that you don't think you'll find in the exam, and you end up finding them. Like this right here. I post this right here because you're gonna need to learn what all these little symbols mean. For instance, you might get a question saying blah blah blah, your help desk received a call from some users that they're failing to access the network from their Windows 10 machines, and you as a tech, you open up the DHCP console and you see one of these. Well, you need to know what this means. So and the exam might ask you like something like you might want to ensure that Windows 10 computers can resolve DHCP leases. What is your solution? They might give you like, okay, the solution is like, you restart your service, or you reconcile, or whatever the case is. And they ask you, does that meet the goal? Now, if you don't know what all this means, and they have a like an exhibit, when you click on it, and they give you maybe this one. and you don't know what that means, how are you going to answer that question? So you got to learn about all these things. And Ed Baker right here does a good job. I will post this link on the description so you guys can see how that goes. Also, you might want to invest on some videos. I was reading through Reddit, and I didn't use this because I can't afford $90 a month for videos. I'd rather go to YouTube, find something, or read a book and lab myself and do this thing myself. Because sometimes watching a video can make you lazy. You think watching a video, but if you actually do it, you'll be better off than watching some videos. It's good to watch videos for understanding the concept, but lab. Even Microsoft, before you start the exam, they ask you how many years of experience do you have in this stuff. And I don't know why they do that, but they definitely, you can see by that, they want to know that you've been in the field. If you've never worked in the field, how else do you get experience? And these things, you have to lab and actually know what you're doing. The exams, I've done 2 Microsoft exams, okay? They're not easy. They're multiple choice. They're not easy. And they're not meant to make you fail. I know, people disregard Microsoft. Oh, it's a multiple based choice exams. But you gotta read into the details. A question might have a long paragraph, but it's only one sentence that matters. Okay? So you gotta think about this. And this is something I didn't share in the last video, and I apologize for those people who watched that video and went to take the exam. I hope you passed your exam. But when you're taking the Microsoft exam, the first few questions, I would say the first 7 questions or 8 or maybe 10, depending on what you get, are scenario based. And if you don't pass those questions, at least half of them or at least 3/4 of those questions, I don't think you're passing that exam. And when I'm talking about a scenario based question, it's something like, okay, you have this and this, and for example, they give you those pictures right here. Say they give you one of this right here, and then they ask you like 5 questions from just one question on what this means. So you got to know your stuff. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Labbing is better than watching videos. It's good when you don't understand something. You go there and be like, hey, how did they do this? How does this concept work? If you don't have a lot of time, yeah, watching videos is fine. I ended up enrolling this LinkedIn trial version, and I looked at their courses. Yeah, these topics, it's not like anything I didn't know. So I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for something that is not helping me. But explaining the concept was fine. I found some few nuggets that, were good. Like they made the concept clear. But my thing is just lab, man. And also, well, before I forget, there is this book. Give me 1 second. This exam ref, okay? I bought one of these books because it's precise, it's short, but it doesn't teach you any new skills. Trust me, it's a good book if you're labbing because it gives you step by step. I got this. This is what I have, okay? But then I ended up buying the exam -741 for the exam ref. And if you're starting out, you can get all 3 for $57. These books don't go into detail, but they kind of teach you how to do things step by step. So if you like running short on time and you don't want to read like the William Panic books, well, then get these books and just go through those labs, and they give you exam tips. They're like, okay, in this scenario, you might use these. They give you the PowerShell commands for doing some things that you do in the GUI, because PowerShell is a big deal in Microsoft. You have to learn PowerShell, otherwise you're not passing that exam. And also don't disregard the command line. Okay, so that's it, guys, and I hope this video kind of helps you. If it doesn't, well, I'm sorry, but I did my best, and all I can say is lab. Uh, Watch some videos. If you have the money, subscribe to CBT, Nuggets, Pluralsight. It doesn't matter which one you do. It's up to you and your budget. But my big thing is lab, lab, lab. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but if you don't lab, you're gonna have a difficult passing that exam. And also take your time. Do not rush. Okay, that exam is just take your time. Understand things. Give yourself at least 6 weeks to study seriously. Like take a block of 4 hours in your day and study. Commit. And some people like to book the exam before they do it. Well, I read first and then I booked my exam 2 weeks before I took it. Then I kind of went over my materials. That's how I did it. You can book your exam if you're not a self-starter. So you can pressure you set a day so you can pressure you to study. I don't suggest that. What if something comes up and you can't do that? Study the material first. When you feel like you're ready, book an exam. And then between that time and the exam, like press on, like study hard, review your materials, make sure you're good, and go sit for the exam. Good luck to all of you, and God bless you, and see you later.